Okay, this is a video on some calculator strategies that you can use for multiple choice. So this is going to be on the STO and the equal button. So first of all, let's find them on our calculator. The STO button is located above the on button, and to store a value, you put the value first. You're storing the value for a letter. So let's say I want to store 5 for X. First you put the number in, then STO, and then my X button is right up here. Now, for anything other than X, the letters are located in green above the keys. So if you see like L is located above this parenthesis, Z is located above 2, and they're in green, so we push the green button. So one of the most common buttons that we would use would be Y, one of the most common letters. So to store like 6 for Y, I would do 6, STO, and then I'd have to hit alpha 1 to get Y. So now every time I hit X in my calculator, it's going to use 5, and every time I hit Y, it's going to use 6. So this is great for any time you have to substitute. My other button that we're going to go over today is the equal button. That's located if you hit second math and then enter. And this is testing. You're only going to get 2 answers. So for example, if I'm adding 2 plus 1, and I'm not sure what it equals, and I think maybe it equals 3. I could put 2 plus 1, second math, enter. If I get a 1, it means, yay, 1 point, you got it right. Let's say I thought the answer was 4. 2 plus 1, second math, enter 4. Up, 0 points, it's not right. So this is a great way to test answers. Typically this is good for when you have variables in the question and variables in the problem. So let's go through and think about when we would use these. So again, the STO is substitution, which means I'm going to have a number in the answer and variables in the question because I'm substituting a value in for a variable. So for example, on this number 1, I have numbers in my answer, variables in my problem, so this would be a STO button. I want to substitute these values in and see does the left equal the right. So number 2, number answer, variables in the problem. So again, this is STO. I'm substituting these values in and checking does my left equal my right. Number 3, I have variables in the problem, but I also have variables in the answers. So this would be equal button. I want to know, does this expression equal that expression? So I keep trying them. If I get 0, I cross it off and try the next answer until I get 1. Number 4, variables in the question, variables in the answer. This is this expression equal to that expression? This is equal button. Number 5, variable in the question, variable in the answers. This is equal button. Number 6, variables in the question, variables in the answer, equal button. Number 7, variables in the question, variables in the answer, equal button. There are no variables in number 8. So number 8 is really one that I probably wouldn't use either button for. If I wasn't sure how to do this, I'd probably just put this in and see what decimal I got, and then I would check all the answers and see what decimal I get. But because we're only going between STO and equal, and I have to decide which one, well, there's nothing to substitute. There's no variable. But I do have this, and I want to know, is it equal to this, or this, or this, or this? So this is the equal button. My last one, I have a variable in the question, no variables. These are just numbers. I'm substituting them in, so this would be STO. So let's just try a couple of these to see how it works. So number 1, systems of equations is a great time to use STO button. So my first step is to substitute for A, 5 for X, and -1 for Y. So 5 STO X, -1 STO alpha 1 gives us Y. So now I'm going to type in the left side of the first equation, -2x plus alpha 1. Okay, so I got -11. However, the right side equals 6. -11 does not equal 6. I don't even have to check the second equation. If the first equation doesn't work, you can cross it off. So now I'm down here. I'm stowing -1 for x this time, and -5, oops, -5 for y. I don't have to retype things all the time if I've already typed it. I can go up and highlight where I typed in -2x plus y, hit enter again. Okay, that time it's -3. It's still not 6, right? I want it to equal 6. If it works, it's going to equal 6. So this is not my answer. So now I'm at -5 stow x, -1 stow alpha 1 for y. Again, I'm going to go highlight what I already typed so I don't have to retype it. Hit enter again. Ooh, I got 9. That's not good either. So again, my left side did not equal my right side. Well, this is multiple choice, so this must mean that it's an infinite number of solutions, which if you think about, if you remember what infinite means, it means it's the same line. So it means basically on a graph that if I have a line, there's my first equation, it means that my second equation is right on top of it. It's the same line. So this must be infinite number of solutions. All right, let's try an equal button one. So let's try number 3. So we've got log base 2 of a to the 5th over b to the 5th. So remember to type in logs if it's not base 10 or base e. It's alpha window 5. So log base 2. Oh, sorry. You know what we got to do before equal button? Especially if it's not your calculator. You need to make sure that you know what value is stored for the letters that you're using. So in this case, I'm using a and b. I don't want it to be 0 or 1, so I'm going to make up a number and store, for a, I'm going to store maybe my age. So if I'm a 16-year-old, I'm going to say 16 stow, and then a is up here, alpha math. And I can store the same number for b. I can do 16 again here. I'm probably going to pick a different number just because. So let's 17 stow alpha apps for b. All right, so now I can type it in. So alpha window, alpha window 5. So we have log base 2 of alpha, y equals for a fraction. So I have a to the 5th, which is alpha math to the 5th, and then b to the 5th. So alpha apps to the 5th. Don't hit enter here. We want to do second math enter. And we're going to type in our first answer. So 5 alpha window 5 base 2 of alpha math for a minus 5 alpha window 5 log base 2 of alpha apps for b. We want to know, is it 0 or is it 1? It's 1. That is my correct answer because it is 1. If I had gotten 0, it would mean it was wrong. So in this case, let's quickly see what it would look like if it was wrong. I'm going to highlight this so I don't have to retype the whole thing, and I'm just going to change a few things here. If we notice, the only difference here on B and A is it says 25 instead of 5. So we're going to insert a 2, and now I put answer B in. And you can see it's 0. That was not the right answer. So again, STO is great for substitution, which means that you have one variable or maybe two variables, like in this case, in the question, and you have numbers in the answer to substitute in for them. And the equal button is great for when you have variables in the question and in the answer. Does this expression equal that expression? And the equal button gives you either a 0 or a 1, and 0 means it's wrong, and 1 means that it is correct.